Hello, everybody. Welcome to this midway through the week. It is Myra J. and Stephen Hill Day, and now we are joined by our youngin', Kwyn. Thank you all for joining us today. We got a lot going on, and hopefully catching up with some news and making some news as well. And Kwyn, we will get an update on your and give people an update on your wonderful trip to the Big Apple as we go on. So, Stephen Hill, hi. How are you? Where are you?
My happy place. My happy place.
Already?
Oh man, again.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what they call the happy place. You try to get back there as much as possible. As I'm living my 60th year, you know this. I'm living it intentionally to be awesome, and this happy place is a big part of it. So I'm glad to be here again.
Are you taking up residence? Are you going to be able to vote next year?
Do they actually vote in Mexico, or is that more of a dictator? No, it's a vote. It's a voting thing. It's a voting thing, right? They vote.
No, I'm talking about voting for the United States. Does that mean, for election?
No. I'll still be a citizen. I will still be a citizen-ish. Depends on the number of. You have to live there like more than half a year. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it. But.
It's gonna be like you when I grew up.
Okay. Hey, Myra J. Speaking of still a youngin', how are you?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you very much.
You look like you're in a different space today.
Yes, I'm actually upstairs in my actual office that I have cleaned. Thank goodness that this is just a still shot. So y'all don't see all the crap that I moved over.
Because you have everything. Now
everything right
here.
Right here.
And everything that's out here.
There'll be none of that. Ain't no moving over here. Ain't no shooting over there. Nope. Especially not under the table.
Hey,
nope.
All right.
Hey,
well, let's leave him there.
What's that book by Erica Jung?
You mean Erica and I?
And hello, young Kwyn. Are you back from the NYC, or are you still on the road?
Oh no, I'm back in Georgia now.
Okay. All right. How are things in Georgia? Because we've been talking about the weather a little bit this week, but how are things there with you guys as far as the weather is concerned?
Yeah, it was kind of drizzling this week. I was a little bit confused. But it's actually like low 70, like high 80.
Wow.
So it's like the perfect type of chill and warm this whole week. So it's not that angry heat that I'm used to.
Right. Yeah.
So this is good. I like this type of weather.
Myra, are you enjoying it?
Well, you know what? To me, if it's gonna be hot and storm every day, I really do need to be in Florida. So,
okay.
And I'm like it, yeah, because we're getting that whole tropical wave thing, and every afternoon, just out of nowhere, it's like, yes, the sun is shining. Last week, I'm out on the trail, and it's like rain in your area in 2 minutes. And I went, it's not a clock. Oh my God. Yeah. So
I was talking to a friend in Houston, and she said that it is raining every afternoon.
Yep.
And so I said, well, and like you, that's what I said. I said, you might as well be in Florida for that. In North Texas, we're getting rain, and it's just enough rain that I don't have to put my sprinkler on. And I am talking about watering the lawn, Stephen Hill. This is just it's a great time for me, and so we're not getting it every day, which I wouldn't mind, quite honestly. Someone was telling me they were at the amusement park in Arlington yesterday, and we did have a storm come through. And she said all of a sudden, just this humongous storm cloud just came in. And just it's like, okay, well, let's get out of line for the roller coaster, because obviously we're not going to be able to do this for a while. So the weather thing is I know it's climate change, and I know we're getting into this, and we will talk about that, Kwyn, with you. But this weather stuff, except for where you are, Stephen Hill, where it's perfect.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Climate's great. Ain't no climate changing. Ain't no climate changing right here. Right here, you can see the reflection. Bam, bam. Blue.
Pulling this show aside for 1 second, did you see the news clip of the lightning strike that hit the golf ball midair?
No,
No.
no, our little
No.
weather maven. Let's see if-
I saw it. There was a kid at Top Golf who should have put the clubs down because it was a storm coming through,
and
he
his
said,
mother should have told him.
"Yep." Because he's holding a long metal club. He said, "I just want to get off one more shot," and he hits the ball, and literally they caught it midair. Lightning hit the golf ball.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow. And better the golf ball than him.
Than
I
him,
guess.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
If we can find that, Chica, that would be great, and we could verify Myra J's story, because sometimes I think she'd be drinking when she comes with stories like that.
Ah,
Why
wow.
they be hating on me like that?
Rough start right there.
ain't no judgment for me.
Okay, me either. I'm good too, Kwyn. I'm good too. Okay, so here's sure it's water. Okay, Kwyn, what you got?
That's all
Okay.
I was looking around.
Oh, okay. I
Remember,
see a lot of
your
field
mama's
bottles,
watching.
so-
Your mama could be watching.
Right,
Your mama could be watching.
Mama Kwyn. Mama Kwyn.
Yeah, remember that. All right, so here's what's going on in the news as we look at the topical things that are actually going down this afternoon. Judge has blocked the governor of Maryland from ending the federal unemployment benefits early. You know, a lot of Republican governors have signed the bill stopping those extra unemployment benefits. And here is, and injunctions have been handed down by judges like in Indiana. And now the latest is Maryland, in which Baltimore judge shut down the efforts by Governor Larry Hogan to put an end to the early enhanced pandemic unemployment benefits. The judge, God bless the judge,
Yes.
Lawrence P. Fletcher Hill of the Circuit Court for Baltimore issued a preliminary injunction this afternoon ordering that the immediate action be taken to ensure Maryland residents continue to receive any and all expanded unemployment benefits available to them through the federal programs. It came in response to multiple cases challenging Governor Hogan's decision. The Republican governor said at the time that many businesses were facing severe worker shortages and look forward to getting more Marylanders back to work. And the judge said the plaintiffs demonstrated they will suffer irreparable harm if the injunction was not issued, and have shown that the issuance of it is in the public interest. J. Anthony Brown and I were talking about this yesterday, and he talked about it as a businessman, because he says at the J Spot, you know, it's difficult finding people because a lot of people are still existing on these extra unemployment benefits. But on the other side of it, and it is justified, I think it is, and I will look to you guys to see if you think that this extra $300 a week that people are getting is working, and working for them, but preventing them from going out and looking for work. What do you say, Steve?
I think it's all about what makes you able to go home, feed your family, and sleep at night. Mm-hmm. And if part of this is because your kids are home and they're not in school and everything else, and you get to get this free money without going to work, I think childcare is a large part of how people are reacting to this and handling it. So to each his own. Like I get it as a business person. What you don't want is incentive to not go to work. Mm-hmm. Like just as a society, you don't want that, and so you really do toe that line of disincentive to go to work, but also take care of people who need it. Right. And what would be great to do if there's a way to find that middle. There's those people who should be working, get them to work. Those who need it, it would be great if there's a better way to parse between those two, but probably isn't right now.
Yeah, good luck. That's not life. That's not real life, right? No. Myra J, as a single mom and one who knows about the really high cost of childcare and all of those other things, and as Steve mentioned about having to decide whether you're going to go back to work or take care of your children, and especially as we're still going through a pandemic, and in some areas of the country it's worse than ever. What do you think?
I'm glad that people are getting the benefits. It's like Stephen said, it is difficult to say, okay, who's really just staying home? But I still remember, as a struggling single mom, if you don't feel comfortable with adequate childcare, that job be damned. Right. You have to take care of your kids, because bottom line, that position will be filled. They can't get another mama and daddy. You know, you have family first. That's the bottom line. Family first. And if they can figure out, you know, just a way to work that out, then let's go for it.
And isn't it interesting that these administrations, primarily Republican administrations, are all about family first, and all of the things that are trying to keep our families together, and that is their moral compass, if you will. And yet these businesses are not doing enough to keep the families together, and they're trying to push people back into work at the risk of upsetting their families. Kwyn, you are barely out of diapers, but
wow. The eternal reference.
Okay, the ages.
Well, okay. So you've been out of diapers for a couple of years, and and out of the classroom, out of grammar school for a couple of years. Then, how's that? And so you understand, especially coming from a family being raised, with brothers and sisters and your mom, understanding the importance of childcare and having to work and raise your kids and pay for childcare all at the same time. Certainly, this isn't something that's strange to you.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times people, I don't know where this overwhelming amount of pessimism came for, like people thinking that people are trying to pimp the system.
Yeah.
And there's actually an overwhelming amount of people that like humbly actually need federal aid and like federal assistance. And it actually makes my heart break as to how we don't believe that people actually need money to survive right now. I myself had to apply for unemployment several times when I was in the middle of looking for jobs after graduating, and bills have to get paid, student loans have to get repaid. Joe, where you at? Get my loans.
Yeah, let's get on that.
Okay, but like unemployment is a beautiful thing that I wish like more people actually had the access to receive. And I feel like definitely during COVID right now, like I know so many of my friends personally that have lost their jobs, like people within higher education that have gotten furloughed, or people that have just been like forgotten about. And so the fact that this is like something that's up for debate, this is people's livelihood. Like these are people's groceries, these are people's rent money, these are people's gas money. And so I don't know, the basic human rights that are always up for debate just really baffles me all the time. So,
yeah.
But also playing devil's advocate, almost everyone that I know who owns a business are struggling to get people to come back to work. I went to PF Chang's a couple of weeks ago. Walked in, they said 2.5. I know, because I ball like that. PF Chang's, but go in there. The place is half empty. I said table for two, and she said it'll be a 2.5 hour wait. And I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to be smart, but why is it a 2.5 hour wait when this place is half empty? And she said, man, we only have 3 people working here.
Yeah.
They
can't. Denny's in New York.
PF and Chang.
There was only one black woman who was waiting tables. She was busting tables, and she was the hostess. But it kind of just shows that America needs the working class, and the working class need assistance.
Yeah.
So therefore, if you want people to go back to work, you have to treat people as decent human beings and give them what they need. And people need funds right now. Like,
well, here's the thing. I read something that just stuck with me. It said it's not that people don't want to work; they don't want to work for them low ass wages. Exactly. So pay the people a livable wage,
literally,
and they will come back to work.
Yeah,
and treat them with decent respect. So many people are so rude to like servers, waitresses, waiters, people who work facilities at universities, clean up after us, everything. If we actually treated everybody as decent, like level human beings, I think people would actually want to come back.
That would go a long way. I think the way that we treat our people too. Absolutely. Jay and I were talking the other day about the Burger King, in which the whole staff announced that they had quit and put it on the billboard outside of the restaurant. And because things are just, the conditions were so bad. I mean, it's just, it is everywhere, and every level of the entertainment industry, as well as food service industry and things like that. You're seeing that, a lot of that. And it's movie theaters. When I'm saying entertainment industry, thinking about movie theaters, because a lot of kids that depend upon those jobs that they didn't have last year because of the virus, they want them to come back now, and the conditions are just not worth it in the way that they are being paid and things like that. So
it's all about respect. I mean, if there's nothing else to take away from this, you got to respect who you work with. So, for example, if someone talks about how close you are to being out of diapers, just remind the other people how close they are to being in them. So,
I said, don't look under the desk. Okay.
I'm with you. I'm with you. When they talk about you being out of diapers, say, yeah, but you about to be in them.
Okay.
I would never say that to you, Sybil.
Well, he wasn't necessarily talking about me, Kwyn, but okay.
It's all about love.
That's okay. I'm much closer than you might think, so I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
I'm just put myself on mute.
And Kwyn, I've never known you to blush, but I'm liking the look on you. It's going very well.
Get my Pampers at Papa Do's. Wait, that didn't make sense.
A table for two with diapers. Let's talk about the story that I came across about Black women and cannabis use as a radical act of self-care. There is a woman who is part of a cannabis business, and talking about, she is the co-founder of Cannaclusive, a group that promotes inclusive representations of cannabis consumers. Started using cannabis to manage her Crohn's disease after 20 medications that left her both in pain and homebound for a year. Could not move without the, because of all of the pharmaceuticals she was taking. She said it made her system suffer even more. And she had to choose between cannabis or medication that makes my life miserable. Well, there's your choice. Cannabis or things that make your life miserable. And so she says that she's one of 5 Black women who in this NBC News story said that they see Sha'Carri Richardson's removal from Team USA as a product of the enduring social stigma against cannabis. Full disclosure, and I've said this from day one on the Joyner Show till today, I've never smoked. I have had a gummy and it did absolutely nothing for me, but I think that's because of my high tolerance for alcohol that the gummy really didn't do anything. But I've never smoked. And so just as far as, I'm just asking you guys, what do you think about this? Kwyn, we will take you out, Kwyn, because your mom may be watching.
I was gonna say, please, Lord, please.
But let me just say, full disclosure again, I did pick this story because I thought your mom might be watching. So Kwyn, we'll let you slide on this.
Hallelujah.
Or you can tell us about your friend. What your friend's experience is. Talk about your friend's experience.
That's right.
I think I know somebody. Most of my friends go to Bible study, but I think I heard about somebody.
Yeah. It was Barbara. Barbara, you told, because you was telling me it's about Barbara. What Barbara's experience?
What did you tell Steve at Papa Dough?
Yeah. Look, well, I don't eat at Papa Dough now. I don't know no Papa. I don't know no dough. We don't do that. We don't do that. We are a doc dime. But I don't know. I feel as when it comes to stigma against cannabis, I'm all about it's just ludicrous to me, right? Because it's basically a drug or some type of a recreational use for people who do battle diseases, who do battle with stress and anxiety, and supposed to help you. So I never understood why there's so many Black people, particularly Black people, that are incarcerated for something that either white people are selling or white people are advertising to use. And so I think it's very interesting that now, like, so many people, especially Black women, are like coming forward with like, hey, I smoke weed. And it's like, well, good job. Like, why are we like, this is something that should have been celebrated a long time ago. Like, but because like everybody's coming out with social media and about being vulnerable about their truths, I appreciate my sisters for doing it. I stand with you. In the pew though, mama, in the pew. I stand God bless you. Good luck.
Let's talk to somebody who's seen the change over the years. And Myra, you and I both have seen how this has, the change has taken place now with the legalization of it in many states, many cities and states. And still there's that stigma.
Let me tell you, way back in the day, there was a movie called Reefer Madness.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever want to laugh, you don't even have to be high. This has to be the worst freaking movie ever made, but it was made way back in, I don't know, the 20s or 30s, but basically it was to put a scourge on marijuana. And these people take a couple of puffs and they, it was reefer. But when I went to school, to college, they were showing it to us as a lesson, kind of like a health class, like, but this is what they didn't know. They were like, they're showing Reefer Madness today. Okay, let's all get high so we can watch Reefer Madness. And so since back in the day, but here's the thing, it's been around. Louis Armstrong said he used to love to smoke before he performed. It used to I don't know if I'm totally correct, but I thought at one time it was legal, and then they banned it and just never brought it back because it was so many uses for marijuana, and they just cut out the part where they were like, okay, well, hemp and all that is fine, but now this part,
this is the part of it,
right. This is a big no, and to me it's just freaking ridiculous, especially I've always said from back in the day, when the government figures out a way they can make money on it, it's going to be legal. Mm-hmm. Well, looky what's happening now.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right. Because marijuana has changed.
Is that right?
That's what my friend told me, that it has not changed.
They do have this really good Netflix series called Explained, when they literally go into the depths of the different strains of marijuana that are being mass produced in the U.S.
Did your friend tell you about this series?
Oh, no, I watched it with my mama. It was
okay.
Oh, you gonna bring your mama into it now? Okay.
We saw the whole thing. We watched it together. They have an episode about sex. They have an episode about religion. They have an episode about feminism. We watched all of them just like back to back. But the weed one and the sex one was a bit kind of awkward. I just stayed focused on the screen. I was like, and I was just like, okay, that was good. Hi, mama. All right. So
so let's move on to the next one. Yeah. Right. See, what do you think about this? You got
to remember that marijuana, the criminalization of marijuana, was to quell the hippie to quell the uprising against the war in the late 60s. The criminalization of heroin or the demonization of heroin and marijuana, really, as we know it today, is what we're coming out of, started in the 60s as an attempt to take care of the hippies, take care of war protesters. Like, that's where all the stigma against the drug came. Reefer Madness was like, don't do it because you're like, it sounded like alcohol madness, but they never really banned, well, they did ban alcohol, but they brought it back.
Right.
But really, the way that this culture feels about marijuana was really a result. And, listen to some of Nixon's.
What was in your hand, Stephen, just now?
This is the thing that connects a headphone.
Oh, sure.
No.
A connector.
Somebody don't even know how to roll. I said, what kind of messed up joint is that?
Hold on. Quinn. So that's, I mean, look at
y'all bonding with her mama.
It's time for this to come over. The governor's found a way to make money. Now, what needs to happen is when these licenses for these marijuana places go out, make sure that they are given out in the equal amounts to where you jailed people, right? In other words, if more black folks got jailed for marijuana, make sure them same black folks get the license to sell it now that it's legal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just suggestion.
Free them all.
Yes. Now I will say, kudos to those governors and mayors and other people who are, as weed becomes legal, are absolutely saying like, okay, everybody who's in jail for weed gets out. There have been a few governors that have done that. So salute to them. But now it's about, you want to make money off this? Cool. Let the people you imbalancedly, I just made it up, but you know what I mean. imbalancedly put in the jails, make sure they benefit. Now that it's legal.
Right.
End of report.
Right. Slow clap.
Slow clap.
Now you got to give it back. All right, cool. Yeah.
So pass the dochi on the left-hand side.
It is. I want to take a look at something. When Stephen Hill and I did our podcast, we had an affectionate segment every week referred to the Karens of the week.
This week, this is a big week for Karens. This is a big week for Karens. I'm sorry. This week in Karen.
Chica, I don't know. Do you have the video for us?
Oh, please have that video.
No, excuse. Now you are. Oh my God! Oh my God! Do you see this? Oh my God! I never thought nothing like this would happen to me. She just tried to run and hit me, and now she. Did you see her? You saw her, right? They all saw her. Oh my God! Karen had a breakdown. She tried to hit me. Ask your workers. She tried to hit me. She tried to hit me. Now I want security for you. Oh my God. Oh my God. You should have thought about that before you did what you did. Oh my God. This don't even feel real. This do not feel real. Oh. Would you please don't record me? Don't record me. Y'all had to get security. She charged me. If I wouldn't have ducked, she would. Oh no! You just wanted security for me, right? I want security for you now. No, don't cry. No. I want you to call security. Thank you. I just came to get my free panty. You know how you get the coupon in the mail? And I got to pick up my Converse boots from Nordstrom. I don't know why this is happening to me. Don't charge me. Oh, you want to? Oh, yeah, she. I'm scared to even approach her. Please. You scaring me. Like you gonna go postal. Don't record. Don't. No, why don't she walk away from me? No, I was here. No. We're not doing this. Why don't I walk away from her? Why don't she get away from me? She could get away. Go wherever you want to go.
But wait,
there's a lot more to this. There's a lot. There's like 5 or 6 parts to this, maybe even more. I don't know. I've seen 5 parts, and I'm willing to stand alone in this because I know that we have pointed out Karens and their behavior and everything else, but this really made me sad in that this woman was obviously, the whole laying out on the ground like a 2-year-old crying, please don't film my breakdown, and recognizing that she was having a breakdown, whether she was or not, this was really difficult for me to watch. And the fact that it went on and on, I think at some point, this woman was trying to defend herself in case cases were coming up against her. But this was too much for me. I think at some point she just had to stop.
Well, now you're making it difficult for us to have fun with. So that didn't go. That didn't go the way I thought it was going to go.
I'm really sorry, and I don't want to. I don't want to stop you guys from talking and having fun. But I just wanted to give my point of view because I think this is just really, it made me feel sad. So, okay, back to the fun. Okay. Crazy Karen. Go ahead, Myra.
Okay, well, first of all, Sister Girl was in Victoria's Secret because she had a coupon for a free painting. Let's start right there. You got a free painting? Oh no, you're not gonna stop me from getting my free draws just because you want to have a special moment. Let's just start right there. So girlfriend wasn't leaving because she hadn't gotten her free painting yet. Now,
and it wasn't Myra, it wasn't a period panty.
Right. Wasn't a period panty. She explained all of that because they didn't have that. Okay, so now Karen wants to get whether she was having a mental breakdown or not. But I feel as though if you be flying off like that uncontrollably, maybe you should always be out with an escort. Okay? You shouldn't be out by yourself and be able to approach people all crazy and then want to go, oh, I ain't right in the head. Well, guess what? I ain't got my free painting yet. So you got to get all this video, chick. And that's just how I feel about it. And God bless the woman because she was very, very patient because the woman chased her several times. Yeah. She never hauled off and punched her back into reality.
I almost wanted her to do that as opposed to keeping this thing going because, and I know that physical, that's not the answer.
Right.
Be that as it may. I'm sorry. Okay, Kwyn, what do you think?
When you said the physical, not the answer, I don't know.
Southside comes out in some form or another every Wednesday.
Yeah, there was a point where I was like, oh, she just needs the touch of Jesus.
Yes, lay hands on her.
I just need to, we need to have a conversation. But truly, like, no, it was sad to see her profit off of using a mental illness as an excuse for her immature childlike behavior. And it was sad because knowing people that, that suffer with mental illness, people in my family that have to deal with that type of mental gymnastic every day. And for you to coincidentally, very timely, like, go ahead and start saying, please don't report my mental breakdown. I was more scared and terrified for the Black woman. And I really wanted to make sure, like, okay, is she okay? Has she eaten? I looked on her Twitter page and she was like, I'm still so traumatized and so terrified. And I'm like, I am too. Like, this is why I don't go Victoria's Secret anyway. I wouldn't be doing all this no free panty. Like, I would be moving on because this is a situation that literally can have us ended up being killed or like arrested, literally just going to the store, minding our own Black business. And here comes a white person trying to attack us, trying to verbally aggress us. And for the customer to say, maybe you should move around. I'm like, why didn't the white girl move yet? Like, the white girl could just left. It's like, why is it the Black person always has to be this more mature person? Why are we the ones that always have to be the one that's graceful? We can never be angry. We can never be upset. We can never be anything other than like poised and respectable because we already know like our skin, our tone, our language is seen as something so like
threatening and
it's
dangerous.
Just really unfair. So I'm really proud that she documented the entire thing. And I'm glad that she's alive to tell it. So
I'm glad she's alive to tell it too. But Steve, go ahead. We have some people who are responding. As behavior, that was not a mental issue. Rosetta Max says on Facebook, that was a privileged patty acting privilege. F that biatch. Okay. All right. Like I said, I'm good with standing alone on that. And the other part that got to me, and Stephen Hill, I want you to talk about this too. And Coy texted me just before we went on the air and said that this woman is a teacher, the white woman.
Oh my gosh.
So there's a lot going on, and why she didn't want to be recorded because obviously she could lose her job for this. But the other part is I don't want her in the classroom with my child. I don't want her in the corner while she's got my son in the corner. It's just it just doesn't make any sense to me. Go ahead, Steve.
I respect Kwyn for her reason not going to Victoria's Secret. Mine is more about a restraining order, but that's not. But I want to concentrate on two things. One, I'm with Ms. Mack. That was not a mental breakdown. That was somebody who realized she was caught on camera and her life was going to be coming crashing down around those thick ass ankles. but in case it was, and I'm going to respect how Sybil feels about this. Let's focus on person number 3, and then back to the woman who suggested. It was a moment. Suggested like, well, why don't you just move? Now, the moment that got me is in the middle of this breakdown that she was having. If you look at this closely enough, the what do we call it? Karen broke out the breakdown, realized she had what she thought was sisterhood, and all of a sudden was looking over there like, yeah, see, she makes this move like, yeah, and aligns. So I'm like, is this really a breakdown? And to your point, it's always got to be, Kwyn, like it's always got to be we that have got to be more adjusting and more
adjusting all the
and like
time.
why don't the fact that she felt comfortable saying, well, why don't you just move? And Karen, even though I would not be caught wearing those shoes, I would, however, even though those are not shoes you will ever catch my feet in, I do believe they function. Right? They do function. And so when you take your ankles and go from one to just do that thing back to your classroom. That's just my opinion.
Not to the classroom. She gotta go get that unemployment money right now.
Well,
not necessarily, because if you get fired, you can't. If you lose your job, it has to be through no fault of your own. Yes, to get unemployment. Don't ask me how I know. I just know that. But yes,
sorry to that woman.
and there is also a petition to fire her.
Oh, okay.
I don't want her. I don't want that around my kids. Like,
if there's a petition to fire her, she's not going to be around your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And if the school board sees this, or the principal or whoever is in charge of that decision making, they've seen it now. It's everywhere. It's viral, obviously. So Stephen Hill, we have someone who's speaking to you.
Oh dear.
Oh.
That's always...
There's a Karen challenge
shake.
Now.
It's the shake. The Karen shake.
Yeah.
He said what?
The shake. Can you see? It's very short, Steve. You got to look at it very quickly. Do you see her shake?
but they've actually started.
What I want to say is just so wrong for this time of day.
Okay. Don't let the clock stop you.
Yeah.
But there is a Karen challenge, and white women, it's hilarious. White women are falling out. And shaking.
That's the shake. That's the Karen.
Show me that shake one more time. My neighborhood is called Aftershock. Anyhow, keep going.
All right, player. We are running behind schedule, but I do want to talk about the What You Need to Know newsletter. And young Kwyn, I want you to talk about your story, and especially about the environmental justice and what you experienced last week when you were in New York City.
Yes. So I was in New York City last week, and conveniently during that time, it was a horrible flood that occurred that actually was a historic amount of rain that New York City ever experienced. And so in less than 24 hours, the New York City Central Park actually received about more than 4 inches, which according to officials was recorded as the heaviest rainfall in New York City. So this was a rain as a result of Tropical Storm Elsa, which was originally expected to come to the Northeast. And according to The Guardian, a major federal government climate assessment in 2018 found that rain intensity is increased due to global heating, warning that the region's aging infrastructure is not designed for the projected wider variability of future climate conditions compared to those recorded in the last century. So basically, areas like New York City, metropolitan areas with aging infrastructure are expected to continue to experience more and heavy floods because of global warming.
We saw that in Detroit week before last, I believe, and New York this past week, and as you pointed out, in the subway stations.
Right, and so because of this flooding, the subway stations were literally closed, and so you had working class people, everyday citizens, being forced to walk in this type of monsoon. You have people that are emptying out water from their basements. And a lot of times I feel like as Black people, like we have these overlaying issues. These are varying intersectionalities that we try to focus on. But climate change, environmental justice is something we really, really should start paying attention to, because that is disproportionately going to affect us, because we live in those apartment buildings. We are the ones that are on the trains. We are the ones that are literally driving the buses and doing all these things. So it's something we should definitely go ahead and talk about. So yeah, man, it's sad.
Steve, you weren't in town last week when that happened, huh?
No, I was there. I was safely inside my apartment. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, okay.
I heard it. I walked out. I saw it. Really was. It was.
Papado. He wasn't in his apartment. He was at Papado.
I thought the frogs was gonna come out the sky like the movie Magnolia. It was a thing. That was the heaviest rain I've ever seen. I didn't know it was a record until Kwyn sent that around. That was the record in New York, but it felt like it should have been. It was. So, but your perspective on that is not one we take often. So I applaud and salute that.
And I think she's absolutely right. A lot of conservatives don't want to talk about climate change. They don't, they like to make fun of it, but and they, by ignoring climate change, by ignoring all of these things that are happening, they're ignoring the people who are affected by this the most. As you say, in our neighborhoods, especially with people of color, you're going to see the vast majority of the negative impacts of this kind of climate change. And so I thank you for that, and I ask you to keep an eye on that as well for us.
One thing about climate change.
Sure.
And I just want to say, white folks have allowed this to happen because white folks are used to everything coming out right? They're used to, no matter what happened, it's going to work out right for them. We are not that way. So climate change we're already done. Just so there's no confusion. Like, we can do something to kind of mitigate it and maybe postpone it, but what we've done to this environment is done. Right? Yeah. It is absolutely, and it is not going to be reversible. We may be able to adapt to it in some way, but there's going to be certain coastal cities that are going to be underwater. You can start everything you can to mitigate it right now, and there will still be damage that you are not prepared for or ready for within the next 50 years, because people just acted and started using airspaw sprays like, we're going to do this till the cows run home. And the damage is done. All we can do is prepare for it.
Notice we did put it on your hair, on your head. That brings us to the question of the day. I really want to, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time, but I do want to talk about our question of the day. And this refers to Jada Pinkett Smith and her shaving her head. She put this out the other day and said, Willow made me do it. And she said her 50s are going to be lit now as a result of her. And luckily for her, she has that great head. The shape of her head makes a big difference. But Myra, you too are a woman that had very closely shaved head, right? For when I first met you, that's all I knew of you, was to have a closely shaved head. So is it brave of her? Could you do it? Stephen Hill, you are excluded from this, from the question, of course. But
could I do it? Absolutely, without a doubt. I am not my hair, so yep, absolutely. Although I love my locks, but shoot.
So is it brave? Is it brave for women to, like Jada Pinkett Smith, to shave their heads if they don't have to? If there's not a medical situation, if there's not, like the Congresswoman from Massachusetts, Ayanna Pressley, she has alopecia, and so she shaved her head. But
didn't Jada say her hair was falling out in clumps? Thinning. And that's why she shaved it. As Black women, I think first of all, our hair is our crowning glory. Right. Lord have mercy. It's our hair. My father hated when I wore my hair short, because it was like, that's your crowning glory, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, we have this stigma in our Black community that to be pretty, you have to have long hair, and it has to be straight and flowing. And how dare you cut your hair off? And guys will say, "Oh, you look like a man." whatever, dude.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Kwyn, have you ever been confronted with this? Have you thought about it? Have you?
Yeah, I definitely cut my hair off in undergrad in 2014 after I finished pledging.
Did your mama know?
Oh, yes. She was
Okay.
very sad because my grandma's a hairstylist.
Oh.
When she saw my hair, she was like, why would you do that? Like,
Right.
Who did that? First of all, who touched your hair? And why did you do that? And I said, this is my, like, I get a chance to actually have my own relationship with my head to figure out how my curls work, how to lay this down, do that. And now, like, my mom is natural. She has, like, a gorgeous, like, fro. My sister has cut it, bleached it. She's wearing wigs. We all just do our own thing. And I view hair as an accessory. So if I feel like cutting it is going to look better with this outfit, then I'm going to just cut it. And then I'll go ahead.
With this outfit.
Really, some
I love that.
That's the way I look at it.
Live in the now. Live in that is a live in the now.
That's for real. That is time and living in the now. You're absolutely right. Time is the theme for Yogi's Jewels this week. Our rather young and coy also cut her hair because she said her employer didn't want them to go. Yeah, and which is a great look.
Oh yeah, she looks gorgeous.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I don't have that head. I have a slope. I do. I have a slope. I have a big head and I have a slope. And so I don't think that I could. I mean, if I have to, but I'm gonna put a wig on. I just don't. Okay. I don't have that in me. But I do admire women who do. I really do. I
always love Nia Long's short pixie cut. Like,
yeah. And Yolanda for the longest time has had her hair cut really, really short. Now she's allowed it during the pandemic to grow out, but I think that's because she's afraid to go to the barber. But I love that look and I admire that on women. Our friend Guy Torrey, he's like I like small head, bald head. I am not and so I think that's great. I think. And Stephen Hill, what's your take on it?
I'm supposed to have a take. I'm supposed to.
You can't. Of course.
Where's your preference?
What do you like?
A nice smile.
Oh, that's a cop out.
It is, isn't it? It is, right? Like a real. I am a fan of hair. No, I'm a fan of hair. So I when I was married to somebody who had very, very short hair for the entirety of our whole relationship. And so since I got used to that young, hair's never been a big thing. Like whatever, and this is not a cop out. It's going to sound like it. Like whatever you're comfortable with is what I'm good with. I will always encourage you to be comfortable in your own thing if that's the thing you want to do, but don't feel like you have to do all this. If you want to, that's cool, but don't feel like you have to because I'm with you.
Thank you, Steve.
Not a cop out.
Says Papado King. Okay, so we got a lot going on in the last few minutes. Stephen Hill, I know you wanted. I saw something that you posted yesterday, and this was after the Emmy nominations came out. Now there were a lot of Black folks that were nominated. A lot of good shows. A lot of Black folks that were nominated. Stephen Hill, your friend Jesse Collins, who produced every major show with the exception of one. Right?
Yes, he was involved in the production team on every single one. Lead executive producer on every show. 3 of them are nominated. 3. He was actually named for 4 different shows. There was
Stephen.
Yes.
Colbert.
Yes, no, but I'm sorry. So there was Colbert. There was the other election show. But in the 3 in that category, Grammys, Oscars, and Super Bowl halftime show, which was all his and his team. Shout out to Dion, shout out to Janae. And then he was nominated for another show that was not in a different category, but I forget what it is. I apologize for forgetting that. But it's so funny. I haven't made this announcement except kind of here that we get to work. I'm getting to work with him because I'm working with Dick Clark Productions, and he's coming on board to do the American Music Awards this year. So
nice.
Fire!
That's awesome.
Fire!
That's awesome.
We're back.
Okay. And Myra, I also wanted to touch on with you because as a member of the industry, and as a writer and as an actress, there were a lot of nominations for some really talented people.
I I'm a part of the Television Academy, so I get the screeners, and I also get to vote for the nominees. And when I tell you I was voting my butt off, and when I looked at the nominees yesterday, I was like,
Yeah, absolutely.
I was really happy,
Yeah.
A lot of the people that I voted for.
Oh, nice. Don't you love that?
I love it.
Oh,
I'm
gosh.
so cheap.
So one more specific shout out. I too am in the Academy, and those who know me know my favorite show of all time is Saturday Night Live. I've seen probably every episode of Saturday Night Live for all 40 some odd years that's on. That said, I will be voting against Saturday Night Live this year for Best Series because it's up against Black Lady Sketch Show. Robin Thede's Black Lady Sketch Show is simply one of the most mind-blowingly funny inside, we're not going to dumb down the jokes for you show to ever hit mainstream TV. If you are not familiar with Black Lady Sketch Show on HBO, get HBO just so you can see that show. Robin Thede, who I've had the great fortune to work with.
So you hired Robin Thede for BET, did you not?
So I hired Robin Thede for the show. I didn't get to stay there and finish it, but the show she had. I got to hire, but I got to know her because she wrote for the BET Awards and for some of our other award shows, and just a talent that's been blossoming over the last 10 years. I'm so happy for she and Gabrielle and all the other women who were on that show and write for that show. It is
I don't know why Lovecraft got 18 and HBO still canceled the
So Stephen Hill, I was going to ask you about this, and I think we're going to have to move on, and maybe we'll be able to talk about it next week. But I just don't understand the whole canceling of these really great shows, and Lovecraft is one example of that.
So all folks care about streamers and usually pay cable is like, is this show going to bring us more subscribers, right? That's their ratings is one thing, but it's really like, how are going to be adding subscribers? And I don't know what algorithm they had that showed that Lovecraft was not going to bring them more subscribers, but there's no other reason to cancel except one, it wasn't enough subscribers, or two, it was way too expensive to produce. Now, the latter is a distinct possibility for that show because that show was amazingly produced.
Right.
Every special
Misha Green, just
absolutely everything about that show was mind blowing. So it may have been a cost issue. After these Emmys, I would not be surprised if either HBO or someone else attempted to revive. That's 18 is a big ass number. It's a big ass number.
We've got to hold on to that, and you won't have to do this because you have a young mind. You don't need to write it down, but remember for next week, okay? Because we do have to talk about, and Yolanda's been scratching off things that I wanted to talk about in the entertainment section, but we do need to talk about young Cameron, young Kwyn's brother. And we want to talk about the love connection that we would like to see made with Cameron and some young woman out there.
Are you ready for your mystery day? Are you ready for your mystery day? Is he a dream? Ooh. Or a dud? Oh, sorry. Yeah, Kwyn, you gotta look that one up. Kwyn. Thank you.
I am. And the other show y'all talked about, the Reefer Madness. I got both.
Okay.
Yeah. So watch that with your mama. Yeah.
So tell us about Cameron. And okay, Cameron is there. Hey, Cameron.
Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Great. How are you?
Backstage, and you all are absolutely hilarious.
Well, thank you for coming back after we attacked you last week. We had challenges with the audio and stuff, and where you guys were with the ability to stream and what have you. But thank you. Wanted to know your thoughts on it, on how we treated you last week. Are you still interested, or is it your sister that's pushing the idea of finding a good person for you, or would you like to come back? Would you like for us to perhaps put some feelers out there for a young woman?
People have been shut away for the past year and a half, and I quote Megan Thee Stallion in saying that it's hot boy summer. So let's put some feelers out there, and hopefully I'll be able to find the right woman for me.
Yes.
Wait, I'm sorry. Was that a yes or no? I'm sorry. Yes or no questions that have like more than 15 words I have a problem with.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
You do want. Okay, I got it.
All right, Cameron. So let's give your stats. You are your age.
Looks can be deceiving. We all know that black and crack, but I'm 30 years old.
Okay, you're 30. You're single. Ever married?
No, not at all.
No. Any children?
No.
Okay. Education?
Well, I have an undergraduate from UIC, and I'm pursuing graduate education.
He graduated magna cum laude.
Come on. We love that. And what's your area of pursuit? What area of interest are you going to grad school for?
I'm a writer, so I want to pursue my MFA in creative writing. I've been looking at Juilliard, but I get the sense that Juilliard's looking at me. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. And what kind of woman are you looking for?
Looking for a woman who is ready to just take that leap, to take a risk and see where it is that we go, to throw ourselves in the pleasure of getting to know one another and courageously, stepping out on faith.
Why do I feel like I need to hear? Why do I need to hear like float on? Right after that.
Hi, my name's Cameron, and I'm a Sagittarius.
And I'm a Pisces. Yes.
And I want a woman who just throw it on our back and see what happens as we go forward.
Okay, so we have a stubborn, hard-headed Taurus. And
how did you know, Sybil? How did you know?
Because I have dated stubborn, hard-headed Taurians before, my brother. And so, do you have a racial preference?
Oh, Kwyn, wow. Wait, is that because you know the answer to the question or you don't know?
I thought I did.
Here's the issue with that is that
it's a one-word answer, and he's going to give you 15 or more words again.
I would be remiss if my happily ever after did not involve me standing beside a black queen. Okay. It must happen.
Okay. Woo. Your mama, your sister, and Myra J. Both.
Yes.
Lord, thank you.
Got nervous, Lord have mercy.
Kwyn and Cameron, we're going to put this out there. And Yolanda loves this idea. We have tried this with our girlfriends. She loves love and loves the whole matchmaking thing. And so we're gonna try some different things, and perhaps we'll have a little section for you, Cameron, in finding love for Cameron, if you are open to that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's time. I've been playing the field without much success, and with you all's help, I hope you all can definitely find me a woman that I can fall in love.
Oh,
that's right. Can't do me a favor. Just without looking, reach back, pull out one of the books from the shelf. Just pull out a book. What you got? No, don't look. Just pull a book out.
I cheated.
What you got? All right, let's see what book is that? What you got?
This is Things That I Do in the Dark.
All right.
Good
Yeah,
job.
there you go. Oh, he highlighted the good portions. All right, cool. I see what you did there, player.
I keep the best secrets to myself.
And Things I Do in the Dark, is that a work of yours, or because I see some papers that have fallen out of there?
What had fallen out was photos of my family.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Okay. Winner. All right, Cameron. We're going to bring you back, and we are also going to hit the road and find love for young Cameron and Kwyn. If you're set up, you're good. Okay. So we'll end this episode, and we will give you Yogi's Jewel today, the daily inspiration, and take this in, young Cameron, young Kwyn. Time is a gift from God. Inhale the blessing. Exhale the pressure. No pressure for you, Cameron. No pressure, Kwyn. But we are going to have the luxury of time to find, to help young Cameron find the queen to stand beside him in his journey through life. So thank you guys so much. Tomorrow is George Wallace Day. We have a big show scheduled for tomorrow with George. Steve Wilson, the comedian, is also going to be joining us, and also a very funny man, but a very serious man as well. Former mayor of Atlanta, Bill Campbell, is joining us. And hopefully Jasmine Crockett, who is one of the state representatives that is boycotting what's going on in the state of Texas and is now in Washington, D.C. We're hoping to talk to her tomorrow, as well as Royce West, who has also been in Washington and state senator from Texas. So it's going to be a big show. I thank you all for joining us. Good luck, Cameron. Thank you for joining us on this adventure.
Yay!
Have a great week, Myra. We appreciate you. Absolutely, Kwyn. Thanks for coming on and your good work. And Stephen Hill, continue to enjoy your life. We live
Kwyn, Cameron, and Cameron's going to find a queen named Karen. All right, ready to go.
Whoa.